Alright, what's up guys, Fuffin here, and my computer is now fixed, so if you want to skip this you can just jump to the time on screen, but in essence, my computer kind of broke on me. I've deleted the video where I explain it, but if you saw it, you would know that I haven't been able to make videos in a few days, hence why I have this huge time gap in the channel right now, but after a few days and taking it to the shop, it is fully working again, so I'm happy about that. This video today is going to be a little bit different in format. It's not entirely scripted, and it's kind of really low editing because I wanted to make a video as soon as possible, and this is by far one of the most requested. So, in essence, this is more of a informational only like type of video. Like it's gonna kind of look pretty pretty scuffed, but hopefully you can still gain information as if it was one of my high quality, super over edited videos. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. So what I'm going to be discussing today is like things that I wasn't able to go over in the original basic guide. So there's going to be things like damage, streaking, and gold. Unfortunately, I had skipped over some of those things, but I think it actually is fine now because there's been updates to it, and I'll show those updates right now. So basically, when you're in the game, at the end of combat, it'll always show you this, right? So this will show you all the damage in physical and magic that's being done in the, on your team. Now, if you go to, you'll see your little legend, you'll see the name and everything. So basically, you'll notice that at the bottom now there's 3 tabs. So in my original guide, this wasn't implemented into the game. And this will just show different variables, which I'll go over here in a sec. On the left here, you'll see an arrow. And now this arrow is something that I didn't even know up until set 3.5. So after I already got diamond, basically. I didn't even know this was in the game. So it will allow you to see both teams of the same stats of whatever is, being highlighted. So this is really, really useful for determining what is the strongest thing on the opponent's team right now. And like, in this case, the opponent's dealing a ton of magic damage, but only on one champion, and then there's physical damage on everybody. So maybe tanky, like Vanguard, would be way better against this team. So, yeah, it shows you that, and then it'll show you, what your team is, doing good with. So, anyway, we'll go to the second one, which is actually damage blocked. So it'll show your physical damage blocked and magic damage blocked. Now, this can be through damage mitigation, shields, etc. So what this shows you is that even if you're not doing damage, things on your team may have some sort of use. More so in the next tab, but things like Tom Kench will immediately have damage mitigation when he's put on the field, so this can be very useful. The third tab, which is my personal favorite, is the shields and healing tab, and then it'll just show you flat, like, how many shields. I think that the healing has some, maybe the same color, I'm not sure. I had to take these screenshots really quickly, but, I mean, if it's in a different color, then I'll be sure to, make an update to it in the description or in a pinned comment. But in essence, it'll just show you, like, this stuff won't actually affect your gameplay that much. It's just more information that I wasn't able to cover because the basic guide was already so packed full, and these weren't even implemented when the basic guide came out, like I said. So this is honestly just fluff, but it was implemented last patch, and I think it's really good for the game. So with that one out of the way, we're going to get to the big one, which is streaking. And in essence, with streaking, I have the charts here. So with win and loss streaks, this is what it'll look like. And in a second here, I'll go into what situations you want either one for. It's hard to really like describe why you would do one or the other without showing you expressively like a board and explaining why. But in essence, if you're winning or losing, you'll gain or lose like bonus money. So like you can see here, in both examples, there's like a 5 win streak. This would both be plus 3 gold every round. So there are some instances in which you want to lose or win streak. So I'll try to move over to a different doc. All right, so I'm in a spreadsheet, and the numbers are the same for both winning and losing. So we'll just go with, like, this is your win category, this is your loss category, and then this is your streaks and gold. So basically, if you're winning and losing, there's going to be obvious different benefits. So when you win, you always get a plus 1 gold for every win, no matter what. And then when you're losing, you get minus X HP, or minus a variable of hit points. But at the end, you'll always get gold anyway. So in one of my videos, I mentioned how if you have a strong opening, you can win streak the opening. If you have a bad opening, you can loss streak the opening, or if you have bad items. So in essence, you can, let's say that you, for the first 3 rounds, choose to attempt to lose all 3, which is pretty easy in most cases, unless someone else is also trying to lose. You just sell everything but a unit. And let's say that you take like 3 health the first, and then, or three units stay alive on the first, and then 4 on the next 2. Which comes out to, I believe, like 12-ish health, 12, 14. We'll go with 14. So here, for your loss of HP, we're going to move it like all the way down. These are just, this isn't really like a graph, it's just kind of, you know, things here. So if you have minus 18 HP, then you're likely going to be first pick, because you're going to have 82 HP. So you'll get first pick, and then because you've lost 3 times, after your second one, you know, because you'll have, like, up here, let's say, these are your first 3 rounds, you'll gain 0 off the first one, and then you'll gain 1 off the second one, and 1 off the third one, because you'll have 3. These are your 3 rounds, your 3 first rounds. And then we'll go with the carousel, and then we'll just use X's. You know, we'll use Y. We'll use Y for the other rounds that haven't been determined yet, and then we're going to do this. So now you have 2 gold at the carousel. So we're trying to just imagine that we're at the carousel right now. So you have minus 18, you're probably first pick, and you have plus 2 gold. So in essence, okay, well, it's not. Okay, so I have to do it backwards. So there we have this. Now, this basically is still a viable strategy if you end up losing the first one, no matter what, because if you lose the first one, like, let's go over to the win category. So let's say you try to win. So if you lose the first one, you'll still be down between, I believe it would be like 2 all the way up to, I think the maximum is like 8 that you can lose, but that's really, really uncommon to be happening, unless you're like intending to lose. But so if you still lose the first one and then you win the next one, you are at 0 gold again from the streaks. However, you'll still be at plus 1 because you've actually won. And then if you win the next one, you'll also be at plus 1, or you'll be at plus 2. However, if we take into account, okay, that's going to be an issue. So I'll just say 3. So if you take into account the win streaking, like if you win streak the first 3, it's insane. So you get your first one because it's plus 1 plus 0. And then, because you can basically add this variable here, this plus 1, to this entire thing over here, if it's a full loss streak. Because the numbers are the same, but you just add a plus 1 to it. So you get 1, and then you'll get 2, and then you'll get 2 again, and then you'll get, you know, the same outcome here. So basically, in essence, it'll be 5, you know, 1 plus 2 plus 2, and 3. So in the event that you were to, you know, win, so I'll just type this up again. So you get 1 on the first round, 2 on the second. No, you get 1 on the first. No, you get 0 on the first. I'm losing it. And then 1 on the second, and then 2 on the third, and then C, Y, Y, and P. Okay, so basically, because you have that, you also have minus 8 health, so you have 3 plus 3 gold. And then you'll have, it's still possible to get like any pick. Because if you have minus 2 on that first one, it's not as good. So basically, I'm just going to do this for easy sake. So actually, let me see if I can probably color these, right? Yeah, okay. So we're just going to try and clean this up a little bit. So basically, this is what you're looking at. If you win, so this is going to be winning 1, no, lose 1, win 2 for these. And then this one is just, it's just lose all. So, in essence, this is going to be what it looks like if you lose 2, win 1. But what I'm going to go over now is actually what happens if you just win streak. So, for win streaking, that doesn't look good. For win streaking, it's going to be different. Because you're going to be minus 0 HP. And you're going to be last pick. However, you're going to be plus 5. Just make it easier. So this could be, you know, very good too. It's all on what you put the value of your carousel pick at. Because, like, you obviously lose a lot of stuff for loss streaking. I've seen people enter the carousel with like minus 22 health, which is kind of insane. But if you value your first pick a lot, like let's say you have like your start is BF plus vest plus crit. And then if you're loss streaking, you get plus rod carousel. Okay. Plus rod. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to extend this. So, you get a rod from the carousel. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. If you're playing Ari, this is a, you know, perfect best in item slot start. Now, if you're on the other side here, so we're just going to try and, you know, keep this as color coordinated as possible. So, on the carousel, if you're playing this, and you start with, let's say, vest plus belt. And then you can either do plus gold or plus question mark for like another item. You 100% can win streak with Sunfire, depending on if you have a strong enough board. So, if you're playing Ari, it might be good to go BF Sword Vest, which is Guardian Angel, plus Crit Rod. It also allows you something else. So, the Carousel will let you pick, you get plus 1 gold. Okay. So you either get 1 plus gold all the way to 3 plus gold. Because depending on what champion you get, you can sell it back. So if you're last pick, you actually have a higher chance of getting like plus 1s with bad items. So if you have this plus 1, it might not be as good. But if you're first pick, you have possibility of plus 3 with good items. So you could get a 3 gold off a rod. So in actuality, these two things here are pretty minimal, depending on if you can maintain it or not. Like the 5 here goes to 6. And then the 2 gold here goes to 5. So basically the first pick has a lot of value. The only variance here is HP. And obviously how strong your board is. Because if you are winning, you're probably going to be able to keep winning if you can push that. However, a lot of people can, take it back from here. So we're going to go with, let's say that you lose all. And I guess I can just copy these two, right? And then, paste them down here. That didn't look right. Alright, we'll just... I don't know if you can tell, but it's been years since I've used this. So... Alright, so basically now we're going to fill in the blanks here. So we're going to go with you win every other one. And I actually copied the wrong one here. Don't yell at me. So we're going to go with this. So we are going to assume that you win streak the whole thing. So at 4 wins, you actually will gain +2. And because you're winning, it's obviously a +3. And then at 5 wins, you'll gain +3. Plus, since you're win gold, you'll gain +4. So this is obviously optimal. But it's not something that can happen every game. And on the other side, if you are lose streaking, you will hit, after the carousel, you'll be at 4 losses, you're +2, and then 5 losses +3. So this is why maintaining streaks are so good, because right after the carousel, that 3rd and 4th are worth so much. If you end up winning these and then losing this one, you'll be down 3 gold and then you'll be down 4. And if you end up winning this one, the maximum you can get out of this. So let's say that you're here and you lose this, you will always get 1 gold, no matter what, from this one, because either you win and your streak starts over and you get 1, or you get a 2 loss streak and then you get 1 for having a 2 loss streak, right? So if you're going to lose the first 3 or win the first 3, you almost have to maintain that, because you lose out on a ridiculous amount of gold. In addition, the PvE round will always give you whatever your final streak is. So instead of getting that, 1 gold or whatever, and it's actually better to lose 2 in a row at the end if you do, because it'll give you 2 plus instead of 1 plus 0. So basically, maintaining this is the best case scenario, because if we add this up, let's say, 5 and then 7 plus 4, because PvE will always give you your final streak. So, this is going to be, we got 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 16. And then over here, 2, 4, 10. Now, factoring in, again, these variables, you have likelihood of 17, and then likelihood of 13. And then the difference here is minus 18 HP plus first pick. And then this one is, and actually this HP value would be more. It would be more so like 30-ish. If not, maybe a little bit more. But usually 30-ish plus your first pick of items. And then you have your minus 0 HP plus last pick. So it's all on what you're valuing more. If perfect items best in slot is good enough for the 4 gold difference and HP difference, then it's worth it in the beginning. Now, if you start off with really bad items, let's say you get 3 Negatron cloaks, first off, the game is already probably over, but the way to salvage it would be like Dragon's Claw, which is made of 2 Negatron cloaks, and then you would do something like Ionic Spark or Quicksilver Sash. I think Ionic Spark's better to start winning after the PvE round because it's an actual item, but I digress. So basically, if you have awful items, you almost always want to lose streak, because getting the best champions and best items is how you're going to rubber band yourself from having bad items. But if you have great items, like I said, vest, belt, plus whatever, like Sunfire Cape or Bramble Vest being 2 vests, is really good to win streak, depending on if you have like a good opener, like things like Cultist, Keeper. Those are the most popular. Now, considering that this video is going to come out on a Monday, and in 2 days the patch is going to drop, this could very much change. So I'm gonna be trying to put out a video about trying to like figure out where to find information on TFT, but I guess I can get to that a little bit later. Anyway, this will, in essence, like this is just sort of the reason to be doing these things. And then I guess the other thing to talk about is like fortune. The trait will reward you more for getting streaks, of like lost streaks. I mean, it won't reward you that much for win streaks, but basically fortune will give you X amount of gold for having winning a round, or losing a bunch of times and then winning a round. So it can be possible that, like, because, okay, I can't give you the fortune tables right now because they haven't been released for whatever reason. It's a weird design choice to not release more information about the game, but I don't make the game. So unfortunately, I can't give you that. But the general tables have been put out, and they kind of, right now, they'll make up for it, but at the early stages, they don't. So as it is right now, I believe you get like 2 to 4 gold. So if you lose a bunch of times, it can actually be fine. And actually, here, I'm gonna bring up the tables right now. Okay, so here are the tables, and like I said, 5 losses, you can get 23 to 31 gold. So in essence, it nullifies this almost entirely. The only problem is you have to actually lose like the 5 times. And like I said, if anyone else is lost streaking, it can really fuck you over. That's why win streaking is always better. Plus, that health is worth so much later. 18 health can be 1 or 2 fights at the end of the game, and it's crazy. But, I mean, if you're playing Fortune, it's really good to loss streak. Win streaking is always better, as you can tell, just by the numbers. But, I mean, Fortune is really good right now for rubber banding it. I believe they're changing it for 1, 2, and 0. They might be changing it for 3 also. If they change it for 3, it might be a little bit less good. Because the rubber banding isn't going to be that high, but like I said, the loot tables for Fortune are not currently released, so that's unfortunate. But anyway, I hope that this helped you guys understand a little bit better some of the things that I'm trying to articulate. I've never made a video like this before. Most of my videos are super scripted and all that, and I'm just kind of talking out of my ass here with the information. I just really wanted to get a video out. So, if you guys like this, then, you know, let me know. If you guys really hated this style of content, then be sure to let me know too, because while I'm not a fan of it, if you guys like it, then I'm more than happy to get better at it and provide that content. And if there's somewhere where my math is wrong, be sure to correct me in the comments and I'll pin your comment. But anyway, if you have any suggestions, this came from a user who was commenting it. So if anyone has any comments or suggestions, I'm willing to take that up. I'm going to have a patch rundown in a day or two, and then I'm going to have a regular video probably Friday or Saturday. So, anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. It's Fuffin here, and have a good one.